Hello and welcome to episode 81 of the Fools on a Hill podcast, where we bring you the latest news and our expert opinion on the newest releases in the world of music. I'm Carl.
Yeah, we do.
And I am
What up?
joined by the rude Liam, who keeps interrupting me, and Yanni, who has not said a word yet. How are we?
Cold. The winter is indeed coming.
Nippy, innit?
It's nippy. I wouldn't say it was cold.
It's different.
It's cold throughout the
Gaffs.
day. Are you
It-
working from home? Did you work from home today, Carl?
I did, yes. Under the quilt all day.
Lucky bastard.
Well, there we go. When you sat at a desk all day, it's pretty nippy.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is your desk at home?
Yeah.
Well, put a blanket on when you're not on camera.
I do. I have a heated blanket on my lap.
Oh,
Not
you
right now,
fucking
but I do when
Tory.
I'm working.
Heated blanket?
It's only £1 a day. That's all it costs.
Woof.
It's a lot cheaper than gas.
Woof.
I'm not heating the whole house up just for my little legs. A mango
You
gets
won't
on it as
feel
well.
the benefit of that
She's by my feet.
when it comes.
I will, because I'll get another one. I'll put it over my shoulders, and then I'll feel fantastic. I don't
It's
care about
£2 a
the
day,
amount,
then,
really.
that. £700 a year.
True. But if I get like
Oh
a
my
splitter,
god.
I'll put them both on half the temperature. You know what I mean? Instead of
You're
just watching on
anticipating.
high, can I'm both on 5. Listen, I know what I'm doing.
He's
Quite.
worked out electricity.
He knows what he's doing.
Mhm.
Have we done anything
Probably Tesla.
exciting, like purchase something? I will go to Yanni first.
I have purchased something. Luckily, I have it right here, so it won't be that boring. Well, it will be if you're listening. Lucky. Head to YouTube and type in Fools on a Hill podcast. Shameless plug of
Now.
ourselves. I bought a camera. Expensive
Bit of kit.
expensive job this is going to be, but you know what, it'll be worth it in the end. Just for all the listeners out there, I'm going to treat you to a little treat. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, it's a pistol.
That was me just taking a dick pic for you listening, on film. Can't wait for them to develop that. Yeah, I bought a camera and some film for it, and I will be shooting stuff and keep it to myself because I'm not very active on social media. So you're welcome.
Have you been watching the Dharma thing on Netflix?
Not
yet,
yet.
I want to.
I'm gonna, yeah.
Oh. Well, I imagine a lot of photos like that. That's what I'm expecting.
Well, from me,
You'll know what I'm talking about. When you watch it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we'll find in your house when the police come one day. I haven't bought anything today. Thanks for asking, Carl. I bought a kebab. I ate a kebab.
Was any good?
It was fantastic kebab, to be honest. It's quite expensive though, but it was very nice.
What's an expensive kebab? I've never bought a kebab.
Well, 2 kebabs and 2. I had cheesy chips. Literally just had normal chips. 20 quid.
That's pretty expensive.
does seem expensive. That.
Definitely seems expensive to me. But it's very, very nice. It's very good quality.
As we've
meat.
established, that you're throwing away money. Heat a blanket on all day. Who
I
cares?
don't give a fuck, boys.
I'd love to get paid
It's
to do
raining
nothing as well.
outside. Excuse me.
Callum,
Anything else happened this week? I've done nothing personally, but you know.
you know what we
The Queen
drinking then?
died.
What we drinking?
Orange cordial.
And kind of the black stuff as always. Liam,
Guinness, yeah. Draft.
thank you.
Jan?
Funny you should ask. Really.
Mhm.
It's been a long time, but I finally did it. I indulged in, dare I say the name, Thatcher's Blood Orange cider. And I'm going to give a live taste test. So
Nice.
here we go.
This is exciting for all the listeners out there. What's the mouth feel like, Jan?
Tingly.
I want to know in terms of
One
dryness.
one side of my face is feeling a bit numb.
Can you smell toast?
Honestly, what is the point in that? I need to know. I'm getting like virtually no flavour. It just tastes
do
like
you know what?
sparkling.
I can
No.
imagine.
Does that make
yeah.
any sense?
I've not had it out of a bottle, but
Okay.
I really enjoy it from a can. I think it's really
The-
nice.
If I
Can add flavour.
force flavour upon my mouth, then I can taste something. But
If you dig deep.
yeah, but seriously, that is a disappointment all round. I will be carrying
Well-
on though because alcohol.
Well, you heard it here first.
Sorry
I'll
for trying
talk
to broaden your horizons.
The only thing you can broaden.
If you guys were to if we were, just imagine us three at a bar. We are friends, or we were at the very least.
Mm.
Am I working as a waitress?
Um,
Or is
no,
this
but
not
it is a
bar?
cocktail bar.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It is a cocktail bar.
Okay.
And you know, bit of karaoke. Everyone loves a bit of karaoke. Who doesn't love
Yeah.
karaoke?
Probably people who paid
I
to see
don't.
Ian Brown, I imagine.
Yeah. Bit bad that, wasn't it?
Bit bad.
Bit
I
bad.
did see,
Pretty poor.
in case you don't know, Ian Brown, forgot his name, we just said it, charge people like 40 quid or something, maybe a bit more, to go see him live. By live, I just mean him, and barely alive by the sounds of it. Just perform with no band, just him on his own on the stage, to essentially backing tracks, which a lot of people are obviously pissed off about.
Yeah.
However,
so-
I did see an argument by the band Swim Deep, who
Great,
said
yeah.
that there should be no expectation like that. It's art. It's up to the artist how they want to
portray
what's
it.
the word? Portray the art. Yeah. So I mean,
suppose.
as long as the ticket, doesn't advertise Ian Brown full band, then he's not really
Yeah.
broken any sort of promise there.
Yeah,
Brown and the Brown and
I
these.
get that, but also he's a piece of shit for doing what he's done. In my
I
opinion,
completely agree.
He's a piece of shit anyway. I think, to be fair.
well, yeah,
I saw someone on, I think it was Twicket, advertised that someone had
Twickets.
relisted tickets for 79% cheaper than face value, which was quite
Wow.
amusing. That came the day after the video of him performing.
unbelievable.
Did
So,
we? Do we know though? Like, I feel like the first time I saw that video, it was with the note of like his band couldn't turn up or something along those lines, or is it just fully he was just doing it on his own, full stop, and that's it?
From my understanding, he was just doing it like full stop without a band.
Well, after all
But,
the COVID stuff that came out about Ian Brown, I can't imagine he keeps too many friends these days.
Well, yeah, all the old
They've all died
make
off
it through COVID because they didn't follow any fucking rules.
But anyway, that's enough of Ian Brown. If we were
Please.
to be in a karaoke bar, what song would you get up and sing? Liam, let's go to you because Yanni looks busy.
Sorry.
I have a couple, but they're all from two artists. There are two artists I would cover. That's it. But my go-to song is "Wuthering Heights" by Kate Bush.
Wow, I feel like we've spoken about this.
We've
before.
discussed this.
Yeah,
I would sing a few Kate Bush songs. I'd also sing a few Elton John songs.
Yeah,
'cause they're
man.
fun.
Yanni?
John.
But that's about it. Really.
Yeah, Elton John as well. And I like doing We Have All the Time in the World because I put on The Voice, which I'm not going to do now because I don't know if that seems offensive.
I don't know what song that is. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Google it afterwards. The trumpet goes. He doesn't know it. I'm gonna
no,
stop.
I don't know either.
You'd know it if you heard
Kermit?
it. Anyway, I like that one. What about you, Carl?
I would, depending on the mood, and depending on if I got up twice or not, I would either do "Man, I Feel Like a Woman" by Shania Twain, or "Never Gonna Give You Up" by Rick Astley. Both would bring the house down.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Dick
You
Splatsley.
get someone
you
up
mean?
on stage with it.
Talking of Dick Splatsley, we're approaching that classic. I looked the other day. We've not
I
missed
know.
it. We're gonna have
I
to do
know.
it. We have
I
to put it on Notion. It's in November sometime. Talking of classics, you'll get one soon. Tame Impala, Lonerism Classic is coming. 5th of October. Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
5th of October.
a bell.
That is right.
There'll also be an Under the Needle video soon. But
Yeah. We'll see when we record that.
Yeah. We're going to move on to what we've got scheduled for this pod now. No hot off the press.
Yes,
Oh, boo.
Boo.
yes.
Instead, arguably going to be better. We've got 4 album spotlights. That's
Fucking
more
fuck.
than a double rainbow. That's a quadruple rainbow. Have you imagined so many rainbows in your life?
I've not, no.
No.
I saw
mean
one
anyone
today,
has.
but it was only one. It wasn't 4. It was 1.
So we're going to bring you the first ever quadruple album spotlight right after
Shit.
this aptly timed jingle.
God save our gracious animals. That's how everyone want. That's how it goes, isn't it? Is that how it goes?
God save the animals. Yeah. That's how it goes.
Okay, I thought so. Never sang that before. So just ingrained in me from a young age.
Well,
As Yanni so kindly put, not a moment ago, this is a quadruple album spotlight, and we
ding,
thought
ding, ding.
we'd start with the worst one. I'm only joking. It's not the worst one. It's really not the worst one. Believe me. We're starting with Alex G. God
Certainly
save
is.
the Queen. Animals. God save the animals.
She's dead,
She's
mate.
dead, mate.
Move on.
Did you
The
not
Queen's
hear?
dead. Oh, fuck's sake.
We did this a few episodes ago.
Oh, I
Bloody
just
hell.
don't want to believe it. The Queen is dead, everyone.
No, we need to stop with this now. Come on, she's in the ground. Fucking get over it, Christ.
Is she in the ground?
I don't know. She's in
Is
a
it
box.
confirmed? Have we had a kill
Is
confirm?
it confirmed kill? Oh no! Come on, boys. Right, God save the animals.
Has anyone
Alex
seen the
G.
tags?
Shut up, Liam. We're gonna go track by
Kill
track,
denied.
and we're going to tell you about them individually, and then we're gonna rate it at the end. That's what we do. Come on, if you know us, you know the format already.
No averages this week,
yeah.
though. We spoiled
No,
it.
come on, work it out. Liam does the math every week. Surely you've worked out what they mean by now.
Do you want to do a big end one at the end of all of them and do them all? No.
No.
Sure, I'll keep a tally on Notion.
Yeah, you tally
yeah.
ho. First song off this album, which, like I've said, is called God Save the Animals by the artist Alex G. The first song is After All. I think this is a good way to welcome you in to the style of Alex G in general and what to sort of expect from the album as a whole, really. There's a couple of deviations, but I feel like it does a good job of setting the tone.
Yeah, it's a
so
perfect
poignantly
opener, I
put.
think. Sorry, is it the thing that might be big?
Oh, don't say that, Liam. Fucking hell.
Sorry, go on, Carl. Crack on. I just
don't have anything to
poignant
say,
point
really.
to follow up on that point.
Well, you say your poignant point because I was just going to say that I really like the vocals in this track.
Well, yes, I was going to say the same, and they remind me of the vocals in songs like Bright Boy and a few other of Alex G's older songs. I just wanted to agree.
That might be
further on
because it's
Yanni's
Alex
point.
G, Liam.
I mean, would make sense, wouldn't it? But I think this is a perfect opener for this album. As Yanni said, it welcomes you in from every direction. I feel like no matter how you've approached Alex G and what you've heard before and what you haven't heard before, this is setting the tone perfectly for the rest of the album. And for a lot of Alex G stuff, so it's a very good first track on a new album, and it sounds very nice.
It does sound nice. That's a theme. Next up, Runner. Best song on the track. Best song on the album, even.
Bingo.
Best song in and of itself. I love this track. Why is it so short though? God damn it!
That's a shame, but
Yeah.
too much of a good thing isn't always the way to go.
It would be for this song though.
I agree.
Yeah, it would. Can't be silly.
It's just got a lovely vibe, hasn't it? And again, the vocals are great, which is not something I thought I'd continuously think during this album. I don't know why. Preconceptions and all that. But I do remember liking the song when it was a single, and I have not changed my mind.
I definitely think that Alex's vocals have improved. Not improved, but they've reached the pinnacle here on this album. And yeah, this song
of
in particular
Adele
just sounds really good.
or Joe.
I'd say almost of Adele. Yeah, I can imagine Alex G singing "Hello." I think it'd be beautiful. But yeah, I love this song since the first time I heard it as a single. It's been stuck in my brain. I just love the melody, vocal melodies, and everything about it. Like the keys and stuff, the way they come in, very kind of Bon Iver sounding keys throughout and stuff that just kind of complement. And And then that kind of like post-chorusy kind of break when it goes to that strange chord is just wonderful. Really, that kind of that Elliott Smith style of kind of chord progressions and the Beatles chord progression stuff that Alex has touched on previously, but perfect. And I would just wish there was
Perfect.
more. But I don't. I
Yeah.
think it's also a beautiful package.
Just like you, mate. Moving on. That's the only compliment he's getting all week. Is Mission. That's the name of the next song. I thought the lead guitar parts in this were very good. They always seem to finish in a way that I wasn't expecting, which kept it entertaining for these bad boys. I'm pointing to my ears.
They're up here.
That's me done.
Yeah, I agree. The vocals in this one again, I just fucking love the vocals on this album. There's a time where they become the recording comes from the room rather than the mic. I think,
Mhm.
unless the mic went really shit, but that really added to the whole emotion of the track, and that made me go from liking it a lot to loving it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the vocals again on this one, I agree, stand out. The kind of his normal vocals, the higher octave, and then that kind of bright boy vocal. I guess that's just an effect or something, but the mix of those three is phenomenal. And I think musically, it's just really, really well considered. I think I mentioned that on one of the previous singles that someone had said it was going to be a more considered album, and I think this is very much emblematic of that. I'm using that word. Okay,
Oh.
don't call me out on that.
Bloody
I don't know
hell.
if that's I'm going to say though, emblematic.
That's a
Um,
great
Lock
word.
that in.
Thank you. And what was I going to say about towards the end? Like when the chords come in towards the end and stuff, it just. And is this the song that that note? It's got like a strange like a run up. Yeah, I think that's the one. Anyway, beautiful.
Thank you.
you.
Next we have SDOS, which stands for what, Liam?
Suck dicks on submarines.
Probably gets done. Probably does get
Underwater
done.
head. Whacking off beneath the waves.
Nice.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah, I like this one. Bit dark. However, when the auto-tune vocals came at the end, I really got taken out of the track, and I still don't think I enjoy them. There's a couple of parts with auto-tune vocals in this album, but this one in particular I thought was very jarring.
Yanni, I think we are one and the same. This was my least favorite so far. Arguably my second least favorite on the whole record, but we'll get to that when we get to a certain song. The auto tune was fun, but out of place, and I didn't enjoy it. It was bad fun, which is not what anyone wants.
I mean, bad fun, bad. Who can say? I quite like the auto-tuned vocals in a weird way. It tickles my weird little willy, weird willy. And I definitely do like the very deep kind of grrr, that vocal effect is pretty cool. I think that this, like the music of this, is interesting, but sounds like something that'd be a 30-second interlude. I think Alex does this quite a lot on this album and previous albums of making an interlude a full-length song. And I don't think it's really it's
necessary.
not the end of the world here, but I think it doesn't necessarily need to be a full song.
Yes. Moving on. No Bitterness. I enjoyed this until it started getting strange. About halfway through, it sort of changed up the style a bit, and I stopped enjoying it that much.
I like this one. Oh, I thought you were done. Sorry.
No, I'm done now.
You are done. Brilliant. I thought the drums were cool in this one, but they felt out of place in the first verse. They felt a bit like what some drummers do when they want to be center of attention and they hit the drums too hard, not naming any names. But I thought that
I feel like you're looking at me. I don't play drums, so
no, I'm not
I don't
looking
know why
at
I feel guilty.
you. No, it's not you, and it's not Gaz
I know,
Farley
I
either.
know.
I mean,
Yeah.
narrows it down quite a bit, doesn't it?
Have you got anything else to say, Cal?
No,
No
I do,
bitterness,
yeah.
please.
But I thought the drums worked when it came back into the second verse. So the gripe I had with it was take it away. The background backwards shit that was happening that I think Yanni said he didn't like when it went strange, I thought was very nice. I like this song quite a bit.
Yeah, I also like that backward stuff, and I like the mix up in the second half. I think this is a very good example of where he's kind of reached the right point between the kind of acoustic folky stuff he does and the more weird kind of electronic sound and stuff. And I think this is a pretty solid tune, if you ask me. And who is?
We was asking you. Next up, we have Ain't It Easy. On my notes, I put meh. But upon listening to it again, I do feel like I quite like it. Maybe it was just after listening to those last two where I wasn't that much of a fan that I thought this one was a bit boring. But I don't know. In isolation, seems okay.
Yeah, it passed me by a bit during the run through, but it did sound pleasant. I liked it, but I couldn't pick it out in a lineup. Put it that way.
Yeah, I think it's very understated, and I think that's maybe where you're kind of picking up as a negativity. Whereas I really like that part of this song. Very understated. Some nice little guitar lines and stuff that come into it, and again the vocals and the two double vocal melodies are very nice, very pleasant.
Very nice.
Very nice. Moving on to Cross the Sea, which was one of the singles that we covered. Don't have much more to add to what I said previously. In context of the album, I feel like this is going to sound like it doesn't make any sense, but it's in the right place, but I don't enjoy it.
Do you remember before when I said that there is a song I hate more than sucking dicks on submarines?
Yeah.
This is that song. This is the most annoying shit I've ever heard. It's awful. Awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Well, I don't feel that negatively about it. I'm the Jay-Z nodding gift to this song, kind of get into it, but I'm thinking this is weird at the same time. I agree with you, Yanni, that it's at the right point of the album. But it really annoys me how the end of this song and the beginning of the next song don't go into each other when they're almost they kind of are the same thing. But I realised that on a vinyl release, this is the last song on Friday, so that kind of makes a bit more sense. But on streaming, the end of this song where it kind of does that weird stuff and then just stops, and then in the next song, Blessing, which we'll talk about in a second, starts at the same thing. It's very annoying. I wish there was a different version of it for stream.
Well, you've mentioned it, Ian. But Blessing is the name of the next track. I enjoy this. I feel like I shouldn't because it's weird, but I do enjoy it. Sort of, it's haunting, but also with the vocals that come in every now and then. It kind of takes you out of the being fully like consumed by the haunted nature of the track of it. I like this one. Yeah, man.
I like this one too, Yanni. There's the guitar in the background reminds me a hell of a lot of "Freak on a Leash" by Korn, which is very bizarre. I wasn't expecting to.
You're right though.
To be reminded of that. It's not my favorite on the album, but I like what it's going for, and I really enjoyed the abrupt ending.
I also say as well, I like the synth that comes in. I think I mentioned all of this on when we covered it, but yeah.
Was this a single? Was it?
I feel like it was, yeah.
I think was it the first single? I think this was the first one came out. Yeah, fun. I was just about to say actually, Yanni, before you came back in with a second round, which I don't know if we allow here on Full Tunnel Podcast, but
You don't allow anything, fool. It's not your podcast.
damn fool. But that synth that comes in, that really old school horror synth, it sounds like. I mean, I've never watched any of like the Carpenter Halloween films, whatever they are, but I imagine
Halloween.
they're on. Yeah, that's what I said. Halloween films. Jesus Christ. I can imagine something like that where this sort of that sound and synth, and it's so loud as well. And I was just listening to it then. When you get to that point, it's very in your face, and yeah, all the other and all that stuff is very, very cool, and it's a great start to, as I mentioned before, side B of the album. That's what a good way to kick it off.
It kicked off stronger than I don't know, some kind of football reference. Moving on, we've got Early Morning Waiting. I like this one. I haven't really got much more to say. I'm going to be honest with you. I happened to be playing another game on the PlayStation when I was listening to this.
Was it FIFA 23 that was released today?
No, it was Assassin's Creed again. It's a long ass game. So Immunity, Headroom Piano. I'm afraid I haven't got anything to say other than they were enjoyable and got me through the tough pillaging I did as a Viking. But yeah, boys.
Early Morning Waiting, I thought it was a good track. Nothing too outstanding. I'll just run through the rest as well, Liam, because I don't have too much to say. Immunity, the vocals I really enjoyed, but I also put God Knows Why, which makes me think that they were a bit strange, but I can't remember. Headway Piano was another good track, but it went on a bit too long. And then I put nothing so far on this record is bad. There's just a bit too much of it, which I thought was a shame. And Miracles, I thought was a lovely, relaxed tune, great ending to.
I have got something for the last two songs, so hold off on Miracles, mate.
Oh, okay, let me catch up then.
Yeah.
Early Morning Waiting. I'm trying now. I really enjoyed that one as well. I think the vocals, I say as well, I can't remember what you guys said, but I think the vocals are really nice on that one. But yeah, it's pretty, again, an understated one. Very nice strings on Early Morning Waiting. Immunity, is this the one I'm thinking of with the weird outro? Yes.
Yeah. Very weird.
I like this song in general. Now, the last part of this song with the same kind of piano riff playing in different keys, moving around, and then like a guitar line comes in. I love that. There's something about that is so pleasing to my house. And the sound of I say it's a guitar, but I don't know what instrument it is. Very like wow, wow, wow. Sounds beautiful. And yeah, every time the song comes on, I look forward to this part. And then Headroom Piano, I actually agree. This was a point where I thought like this one doesn't quite do enough different for me. That it's just kind of wasn't quite neither on the album, I don't think. And then we're on Miracles.
Lovely. Miracles. I very much like this one. The Summit, I haven't actually commented too much on vocals as opposed to you two, but in this one, I very much like it. It seems like it's not perfect, but I like the nature of how they sound. Like it sort of works very well with the actual track itself. Lends itself, you might say. So yeah, enjoyed Miracles. We all need a miracle one every now and then, don't we?
Oh, we do, mate.
We do. Wow. Wise words.
I thought this was the ender based on my notes because I've not made notes for Forgive. So I did put. Well, I was about to say that I thought it was a lovely ender. Maybe I'm thinking that Forgive was a lovely ender. I don't know. Maybe I didn't listen to Forgive. I don't know, but I enjoyed it. It was really mellow and the vocals were good. I am a fan.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The vocals again and backing vocals are very good on this. The guitar is very nice. It reminds me kind of like a Cat Stevens song, I think. Miracles. The guitar on it a little bit. Meow. Or should I say Yusuf. And the strings are very nice as well on Miracles. It sounds very kind of like what was the album called? Rocket. Powerful Man on.
Yeah, Rocket.
Kind of reminds me a bit of the kind of the string stuff on that. It's very nice to see that he's kind of keeping. You know, he's got a style which I think is pretty unique in a way, considering so many bands now have violins and shit in. He's got his own vibe going on, for sure.
It's weird because it doesn't, like, the elements of what you're talking about don't sound like they should be unique, but you definitely can tell when it's something he's done. It's got its weirdness about it, I think, which is his stamp. And
the beautiful kind of chord progressions and stuff as well.
Yeah, man.
You can make a song.
And that brings us to the closer, Forgive. And to be honest, I won't forgive him for this song, because I like the music very much, but the vocals, fuck me, they're annoying. Really irritating. Which is a shame because, like I say, I like the musical aspect of this a lot. A little, like you said, Elliott Smith at times, I thought, in this. But yeah, the fucking vocals really pissed me off.
Oh, that's such a shame. I really like this thing because it's a great ender, and the kind of the slow fade out works very well as the actual end to the song after a bit of an electric guitar solo, which we haven't really had any of throughout the rest of the album. But I really like the vocals. It feels very raw and kind of. It reminds me more of Gretel, the last album. I feel like he sang a bit more like this on some of those songs, and obviously there's a live song on that album called Sugar House. Is that right? That's called Sugar House.
That is a song off there, I believe.
Yeah. The last album wasn't called Gretel. The last album was called House of Sugar. And there's a song called Gretel on it.
Gretel.
But yeah, there was a song called Sugar House something. Anyway, I think it was really good, and I think it worked very well as a closer. That's me closing.
That's it. That's the point where we come to on these reviews, where we have to give you our rating because we've got so many to cover. If you're just watching this as a video on its own, check out our channels with loads. But we're just going to hit our one rating. So Cal, what would you rate this?
I'm going to give this album the same rating I have given the last three albums I have reviewed. So all those eagle-eared viewers and listeners
Eagle-eared.
will know that rating is a 7.
It's funny how, I don't know if you see it like this, but 7 is an average rating to me. That's kind of like, it's good, but I mean, it should be 5, but I get it. 7. For me, this has actually, from talking through it again then and listening back through it a bit, has bumped up to an 8 for me.
Well, speaking of bumping up, Liam,
yeah,
that's a bad way to introduce that. I originally put this down as a 6. However, some of the songs that I said were a bit meh when we've listened to it again, I've enjoyed more. So I'm bumping it up to a 7.
Wow.
So 2 7s and a 6. Work out the averages yourselves, people.
Nope, 2 7s and an 8.
2 7s and an 8.
And an 8 even.
Yeah, wake yourself up, boy.
I'm struggling there, boys. So yeah, I hope you
solid
enjoyed that review of Alex G's record. The name of which is, of course, called Save the Animals. I didn't forget and have to remind myself. God save the animals, everyone. Peace and love. Moving swiftly on to...
Don't mention her. I will not have her name on this podcast.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said
Have you seen the albums now in independent record stores? Fucking bitch. She double-crossed us. She knew all the optics. She knew how the optics would look. Obviously, how the optics work.
Moving on. What we talk about next, Cal? Go on.
We are talking.
Go before. Drink.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, I should have done that later for the next record.
We
are about to cover the wonderful Maya Hawke and her second studio record, Moss. We have covered 2 singles, because 1 single was released this week.
2.
We've liked them both. We loved Therese. Do we love the rest of the record? Stay tuned. It's going to be a 15-minute video or a whole podcast. I mean, free entertainment.
How are we going to do this, Cal? What do we normally do in these scenarios?
Go on.
We go through track by track. Yanni normally puts his.
Such a simple question. We're going to listen to each song backwards.
I got confused because we've just done it.
Yeah. It's normally me. who
Yanni's
says
going to
this,
put
isn't
his
it?
points forward, and me and Liam are going to agree with him.
Yeah, brilliant.
For the next
Comical
15
mirrors
minutes.
references.
Yeah, of course. We like to keep it
Oh.
light-hearted on this pod. Queen's dead. The first song is "Backup Plan." Beautiful opener. I mean,
Oh, isn't it
this
just?
word I've used here, beautiful. It's going to be said a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, the word vocals and beautiful are going to be used quite a lot together. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my comment on backup plan.
Fantastic. I will read this word for word. Beautiful
Verbatim.
opener. Beautiful opener. I've also used the word beautiful numerous times. I specifically I've put here a lyric that I was supposed to check what the lyric actually is.
No, just do it. Just do it. Just say it.
Let me be the one you
bit.
thought you were missing, or something like that. It's like a hook.
Yeah, that's.
That
something like
Pretty
is
hooky to me, man.
and I thought that was a lovely.
I want to be everything
concept.
you've lost that you might be looking for.
That's the one. Thank you, Liam.
So not
so
right.
similar, so similar. But the
Say something.
thought behind it is similar. But that is, I love that as a premise of a lyric. I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah, I thought the lyrics were beautiful too, to be honest. And yeah, the way she sings that hook is very nice. The music.
That is what we
Music.
review, mate. Yeah.
The instrumentation is also very nice. Very kind of straightforward. So it's a nice, calm opener, and kicks the album off right, I think.
Moving on to
What was funny about
because
that?
I'm sure we said kicked off before. I don't know. I'm losing
Like a
my mind here.
footballer.
Bloomed into Blue is the name of the next track. I have put another beautiful song. However, and get ready, there's nothing's perfect in this world. Maybe a little repetitive, I thought, upon listening first time.
Well,
but doesn't deduct too much from it.
is repetitiveness a gripe that will continue throughout the record? Stay tuned to find out.
Oh. Gosh.
Bloomed into Blue as a track I thought was lovely yet again. I just put what a voice. In-depth analysis.
I'll say beautiful voice. No, I really like the vocal melody is very nice in this. That kind of repeating vocal melody, but is it repeated a bit too much? Probably. The guitar's very nice in this, and it's a kind of a low synth as well that comes in throughout, and I think that's quite a nice, interesting bit of music, bit of sound in my ears, and yeah, I think it's an alright song, and I feel like I know how the rest of this it's going to go, but let's just carry on.
Hiatus is the name of the next track. This I liked. The guitars and the
beautiful?
vocals worked very well together. They followed very similar rhythms, which was very pleasant. Yeah, that's all I've got to say on Hiatus.
I thought Maya sounded like Ellie from Wolf Alice in this one. Just Americanized.
Take back what I said. I hate this song.
The harmonies with the male vocals in the background were lovely, and I like the lyric, I know you bleed glitter and a heart of stone. Something along them lines. Again, I didn't fact check, but
spot on.
thank you. But it's just lovely,
Is it
isn't
my
it?
turn?
It's just a lovely
It is.
soundscape.
It is lovely. This one reminds me a little bit of like some Big Thief stuff, or Adrian Lenker and Buckmeek's solo stuff a little bit. Obviously with two
I'm very sorry.
sets of vocals and just musically as well. I think the chorus is very nice. The chorus melody is very, very pretty. And that's about all new original information I have to say about this.
Lovely stuff. Moving on, Sweet Tooth. This is one of the singles that we covered.
Yep.
I'm right. When we covered this, I said I thought this was a bit cringe, if I remember correctly, lyrically.
You did.
However, it has grown on me since we've covered it, and I think in terms of pace, it helped that it's at this point in the album. There are some new words.
In the words
Oh.
of Katy Perry on her hit advert, Just Eat, ding dong,
No.
Yanni. Ding dong.
She mentions my name.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the inclusion of a semi, not just mine,
Yeah.
upbeat
I
one,
include.
Hello.
Yeah.
was very welcome at this point in the album. I like it more now. Yeah, it's good. It's very, very good. I take away one very. It's very good.
I agree. I agree, guys. I don't know what to say. I like that it's a bit faster and it's a welcome change at this point. And
It's always a struggle because you go last, mate. But don't feel obliged to have to add stuff if you've got nothing. Just say
yeah, thanks.
the magic word mirrors.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There we go.
Whoa.
Next up, or just do that actually. That might be funnier. Let's talk about the next one. Crazy Kid, which this one has a feature. Will Grafe? Grafe?
I'd have gone with that.
Yeah. Am I locking that in?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Lock it in, boy.
Did I mention it was called Crazy Kid? I can't remember. I'm going crazy myself. Crazy Kid featuring Will Grafe. Solid track again. The harmonies on this are lovely. And that's the harmony she does with herself with background vocals, but also the male voice lends very well to this track.
It does, and there was call and response that happened more and more frequently as the song went on, and I think that worked really well. However, I was sad with having less Maya. That was sad. I felt shortchanged.
Yeah, I honestly wasn't sure about having someone else on. It didn't seem as much with the other one we talked about was a hiatus that also had the male singer in. I've lost track already. But on this song, it just seemed like I just wanted more Maya. But yeah, I mean, pleasant
Get in
track.
line.
I think the outro to this song is stunning. It's a beautiful
Oh,
outro.
that's a new word. Synonym.
It is.
Yeah, that's a new one. We're scraping the barrel here.
Thesaurus.com.
The best way to write lyrics. Luna Moth is the name of the next track. I've just put nice. This was like one that was released a couple of days before the album came out, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice. I don't really have much more to add, to be honest.
No, I think this
Passable.
was my least standout so far. Surprised that this was the third single. Got nothing against it, but I just don't think it did anything that the others didn't do slightly better.
I think this is the kind of the. It's so slow that it reminds me of something like Phoebe Bridgers or something like that, and I think it worked really, really well. I think it's a strange single and it's a strange kind of one to say it stands out, but I definitely think it's one that's kind of understated, and potentially by that, in the future will be undervalued.
Oh wow!
But I really do think, to me, this one did stand out, even though it was slower and more understated.
Wow. Speaking of songs, next one we're covering is South Elroy. I enjoyed this one again, in particular, to narrow things down about my enjoyment. The ending of this was very pleasant upon my ear holes, receiving the audio. The sort of repeated, oh my god, I got to slow down somehow. And it's sort of echoing, and there was like distorted echoes as well. Just perfect. Well produced.
Perfect.
Almost perfect.
She
Sorry,
is.
we'll get into perfect in a minute.
Yeah, we will. I thought this was wonderful. The happiest sounding melody. I did a bit of a Boris Johnson stutter there. Don't know what happened then. I'm getting all flustered around my Hawke.
Them's the breaks.
It was another welcome change, not reminiscent of Sweet Tooth when that came. I feel like I needed it at this point. Kept me going.
I agree with that, and it's quite crazy that Sweet Tooth was only 3 songs before this one, which maybe speaks to something there. But yeah, I really like this one. I think it's a very well just crafted song. I think it's, as a song, is possibly one of the best so far.
Crafted well.
I feel like some of them so far have just kind of not really felt like a full song. They just felt like the same kind of repeated parts. Whereas this one,
That's an interesting
solid.
comment to make. Yeah, you're very right. In retrospect, yeah.
I am. To be honest, yeah, I am.
Moving on to what can only be described as perfection. The song is Therese. If a song is measured in how few words can be said of it, then I am silent.
I also put in my notes, no words will do this track justice. It is, as Yanni poignantly said, perfection.
Well, as Justin Timberlake once said, "Oh,
Beautiful. Moving on.
If you've not
That
heard
went down the
Therese
way.
by Maya Hawke, go and listen to Therese by
Goodness.
Maya Hawke.
yeah, one of the best songs of the year for sure."
For show. Moving on. Sticky Little Words. This is a surprising favourite of mine from the album. The melody following the guitar line was very nice. But yeah, this one, I think it was because it was after Therese, which I thought was peak. Peak! And then this came on, and I thought, wow,
And
did
said,
not
I haven't
expect
even begun to peak.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't think I'd find another song that could almost reach those heights, and this one almost did for me, apparently.
I struggle with the opposite of what you have just said. That because it comes after Therese, I've not gelled with it. However, I will listen to it in isolation because I don't dislike it. I just feel like the heights aren't met. Same with the next track as well. I'll just speak about that now because I just put
Callum.
lovely track for both of these. Vocals are beautiful. So I think I kind of like on both my listens through, and yes, sometimes we only listen to albums twice. Random YouTube commenter who slagged Liam off.
Fucker.
I sometimes only listen to the one.
Yeah, I only listened to the Alex G one once.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
sluts.
Ah.
I listened
All
to all
lovely.
of these multiple times. God damn it.
Oh,
All
that's you too.
lovely. I will redeem myself on the last two tracks.
Okay.
It's my own fault for having to listen to them so many times because I don't make notes. So I need to be able to just kind of recall points. So that's my own issue. Sticky Little Words is the song we were talking about, wasn't it?
It was, mate,
yeah. I'm on one of your camps here regarding the placement of this after Therese. And I will announce here and now. Which side will you be on, Yanni? Yanni's side. On Yanni's camp. I think give it away. Is it this? Yeah, I was expecting a lull after Therese, and this wasn't that. Thought the strings and stuff was a very nice addition into the album. Not something I picked up on before this, apart from maybe like kind of plucked strings. And I agree with the vocals with the guitar. Very kind of arresting. Very arresting. I'll finish the sentence on that one. Full stop.
What about Over? We need to talk about that now, Liam, because Carl's already on a
I haven't
spiel
had a chance
about
to
it.
listen to it yet because usually we go in a little loop.
Oh, right. Well, I'll just...
But I honestly, even listening through it now, I don't really remember this one. So I'm going to say probably
the
not.
next... Over and Restless Moon, unfortunately, I'm the same on. I like them, but they don't stick with me. But they work in the context of the album. It's, they're passable.
Oh, Restless Moon, actually, I'm remembering when listening, is actually the one where my comparison to Big Thief or Adrian Lenker and Bookmeek came from. Remind me quite a lot of their solo stuff. And I think it's very nice. But yeah, it's just at this point it's been too much of sort of a similar thing that maybe I'll revisit this particular song in the future and it'll be a standout, but gets washed away a little bit.
That's what I felt with Over. Are we on Restless Moon now?
Yeah, go on.
The harmonies in this one were yet again lovely, and I loved the delivery. Whoa! I loved the delivery of the line "choke on the moon in your mouth," which I think is the lyric. Again, I haven't fact checked, but I don't know why I liked it. I don't know what about it I liked. I think it was that it was a what's the phrase, like a perfect ending? Is it like a perfect coda? Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Sure.
We all did
that means
music.
It was perfect ending. What do you mean? A code just means ending.
All right, fucking hell. Trying to be professional here, Liam. It just sounded complete, and it was nice.
Mm.
Fucking hell.
We're up to Driver now, aren't we? I'm so lost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Driver.
Fucked that.
I've used the word at the start of the album, and spoilers for the next one. I'm going to use it for what should have been the closer of the album. This song, Driver, is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I mean that so strongly. The solo at the end of this song was fantastic.
Do we know? Sorry to
Loved it.
interrupt. Did Maya do all the guitar for this album?
No, she didn't do
Has
any of
anyone
them.
thought to look at credit?
She didn't do any of the guitar, I don't believe.
Well, we should maybe find out.
There's a right to credit Christian Lee Hudson for some of them, and then some of them it's Will Grafe. So yeah, but
Okay.
from videos I've seen, it's been other people playing the instruments and she sang.
Mm.
But enough of that. What do you boys think of Driver?
I think this is beautiful too, Yanni. You can really imagine it. And I think the lyrics are lovely.
I don't have to imagine it, mate. I'm listening to it.
No, imagine the premise of the lyrics. But they are a little bit weird. Like I understand the premise of them. I understand her wanting her parents to be happy and to be together, and that she can watch that in a film and things. But it was the just I don't
Want
know.
to be the
sort of-
perfect driver.
that yeah, basically, I wouldn't want to watch my mum and dad neck on. If I'm being completely honest,
She does say necking, which is
she does say
weird, isn't
necking.
Yeah.
That did confuse me.
it?
It's not American. That
I see it as it's a very honest and kind of like real representation of her parent, I suppose. And I suppose that's a nice thing, seeing your parents be that in love. It's such a
yeah.
I mean, we do know a lot about her parents and their marriage. You can pull up a Wikipedia page and tell you every single thing about how long they've been married, how many kids they have. But it's nice to see it from. It's nice to see her talk about people that the public are very aware of.
But not in
and
the
it
image
feels
of the
so-
public.
It feels so personal. Yeah, it
Yeah.
feels so kind of like only from her eyes and stuff. And I also think this song is absolutely beautiful. I think this is, apart from obviously Therese, this is my favourite song from the album, and they
Mhm.
should have closed the album, and I think that's a crazy, crazy mistake.
Yeah. Last song, unfortunately, it's in that order, is Mermaid Bar. I enjoyed this. Upon us talking about this, I'm just going to come out and say it, that I feel like Over and Restless Moon should be wiped from the album. Mermaid Bar should be after Sticky Little Words, and then it should
Yes.
close with Driver, because it lingers on Over and Restless Moon. They're just passable songs. They don't really. I don't feel like they add much to it. But Mermaid Bar does add something to the album. It's just in the wrong place, unfortunately.
Yeah, I really like the background O's in the chorus. I'm not going to do it now.
Oh!
I feel a little bit raspy, so I won't do it justice. Not that I would anyway if I was on peak form. And I liked the frantic melody because it felt considered rather than feeling rushed, despite it being rushed, which I really liked. I thought it was a
Rushify.
lovely ending to a beautiful record. However, in hindsight, I do think Driver probably should have closed it.
Definitely. There's no probably about it, mate. Come on, get with the.
There's no question. I think Maya probably, if you asked her, I'm sure she'd agree.
But yeah, I
Everyone-
like this record a lot.
Mermaid Bar, again, I think it's a very pleasant song. I also enjoy that vocals, and I think it's spot on, Carl, that it does seem very considered, that kind of frantic vocal melody. And I feel like this song, I think this album, she does a great job of mixing up vocal melodies and stuff throughout the songs. None of it feels repetitive in any way. Well, some of it does, yeah, don't get me wrong. But throughout the album, there's a lot of change. And I think this, you're right as well, Yanni, this song definitely brings something to the album. It feels like it kind of introduces a lot of different sounds and stuff, and the guitar sounds and stuff. Stuff that's not picked up on the rest, picked up on the rest of the album. But it kind of puts it lower for me because it's last, and I know it shouldn't be last.
Yeah.
And like after Driver, don't need to hear another song. So yeah, you spot on. It should have been higher up. But yeah, it still is a pretty solid closer. If Driver didn't exist, this would have been a fine closer.
Yeah.
But it does.
But drivers do exist, don't they?
They do.
They
Yeah.
do.
They do. We must now
baby
rate
drivers.
it. I need a confirmation of that. We must now rate it as we normally do. Callum, please, I implore you to tell me what you rate this.
I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10.
Mr. Godschlong himself.
Liam Goshno. I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10.
Fuck.
Which actually was higher than I think I was gonna give going into it, but
Well,
feels right now.
this might surprise you both. I've given this a 9.
What?
Whoa.
I wasn't expecting that. You really think it's worth a 9? I totally do not think it's worth a 9.
That was after finishing it, and I just thought, no, it's an 8. I'm gonna. That was what I put
You
down
don't have to
here.
change.
No, but I am in retrospect. I've changed
Okay.
my Alex G one from a 6 to a 7. So, Maya is going down to an 8.
Sorry, Maya.
Sorry,
Here's
But
what
it-
you want.
Honestly,
it's
The prob-
it
this
is the two
album-
things. It's the
Go on.
two things. It is the fact that Over and Restless are on this album, which I feel like don't need to be. They don't bring anything new. There's a song or two that already sounds in the same vein, and then Driver and Mermaid Bar being in the order they are, as a whole album, really lets it down. The fact that it's in that order. If it was Over and Restless were gone and Mermaid Bar was before Driver, I'd have no problem giving this a 9. Maybe higher. Nah, probably not higher. A 9. But
Yeah.
it's not like that, unfortunately, because the decision has been made by, the people that be. So it's an 8 for me.
I was quite. I'll be honest with you. I was quite disappointed when I first listened to this album, and I did listen to it last of all the new album. And maybe it was
Same.
to do with attention span, but I just found it boring and repetitive.
I feel
Now, on
like
further listens and upon a deep dive, I can definitely pick out on key moments and key points. But in general, it's a bit too long and a bit too much of the same thing that I just don't love it as a full body of work.
I think that's the problem with an album that sounds like this, is it can either heavily go into boring territory or for me it was just I wasn't just concentrating on that, unfortunately. I was also
It's your own
playing
fucking
a
fault.
video game again, because that seems to be what I'm doing
Yeah.
these last weeks, and it sort of soundtracked that very nicely. But yeah, in retrospect, it has gone a bit much. But anyway,
I would
That's
say
my-
it's a lot more
Okay.
cohesive than her first album, which I enjoyed as well, but definitely felt like it was a first album. But it goes a bit to the wrong way, I think, is kind of my view. I mean, I still give it a 7. That's a pretty good score.
yeah, that's been my Hawks album Moss. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this as a single video, then enjoy that. Moving on to the next one for all those full pod listeners. It's the one and only Sports Team with the album Gulp, and we're gonna talk about it. I'm afraid that once we talk about it, me and Liam are gonna have to be kicked out of the Sports Team chat. I'm not really afraid. It's 14-year-olds in that chat. What's gonna happen?
I'd leave.
Rowing
that
a
if I were
boat
you.
in the middle of a fucking cave.
They're the future
Bro.
presidents. Yeah, of the
Um,
government in a few years.
So yeah, we're gonna
Sports
go
team
track by
listeners
track.
of the next government. I'm putting out there right now.
You pulling it, are you? Well, that's why it's on Primark clothes. They're calling it already. Track by track. Unfortunately, it's going to be very boring because we've reviewed half of this album before it even came out.
Well, that means we
Yes.
could do it rather quickly.
It does. Moving on to the first song, is the song The Game. Just to try and be positive, I put good rhythm to it. That's about it.
This was my favourite of the singles, I think.
No.
Cool It Kid.
No. Yeah, cool.
Well, yeah, we'll get into that. That was where the I
You-
think came
You
in.
can't say.
This is me speaking as I'm
that
listening
makes
to
no
it.
sense.
This
You're
is
speaking.
my.
You say
but
this
I've
is
not-
your favourite of the singles. Cooler Kid was a single, so if you prefer Cooler Kid, which if you tell me you're not, then you're getting kicked out of this call
Okay,
right
well,
now.
Well, in my notes, I did put very, very close to being my favorite of the singles, but I actually do think it is my favorite single. But the game, I like the chorus, despite it being quite basic.
That's a theme.
Yeah, I've definitely grown to like this more than I did the first time I heard it. I thought it was a bit boring and repetitive. I definitely appreciate more of the kind of musical element to this song now. And it does have. It kicks off with a bit of energy, which we'll see if that lasts. But this song, and I will say for the rest of the album, I listened to all of Sports Team stuff today in preparation for this, for you guys. That's all the EPs, the first album, and then this. It's very
Absolutely
bass
no
heavy.
need.
This album.
Yeah,
is it? 'Cause,
I thought the
I
bass
forgot.
was mixed way too loud in this.
Very
album.
bass heavy, and like I was thinking, like, is it just like the vinyl? Because I was listening to all the records because I own them all. And I was like, is it the vinyl copy? And listening to it again now, it's just too bass heavy, and I think that really muddies things. And it's not just this song; it's the rest of the album. It muddies things, and it kind of stifles things a little bit. In terms of actual kind of like the sounds and the energy of these songs suffers a little bit.
Mm.
So that's the game.
Gotta dig our way out of that one, haven't we? Wait, Dig is the name of the next track and the single. Listening to the album as a whole for this review, I've actually noted down that I thought this was a better opener. Well, could have been a better opener for the album. Unfortunately, it's not. I like how it tries to be different for this album. But yeah, I mean, because it's in the wrong place, I don't really have anything better to say than that, really.
Yeah, I like how different the verses are. That's about it. We covered this last week, I think. So,
I still really I enjoy this song. I really like it when the vocals change a bit later on. But I agree with you, Yanni. I don't know if this should have been the first song on the album. I think this would have been the opener to side B, so like Sick or something like that. Would have been perfect.
Don't agree with me then. No.
I mean, swings and roundabouts and all that. Tomatoes. But yeah, I like it.
He likes it. Moving on, the drop. It's not bad. It's just not exciting.
yeah. All I could think of when I hear this still is how it sounds like Dog Stay Down by Opus King. Just not as good. It's a good track, but it's not a great track.
I prefer this a lot more now than I did as it was a single. This has gone up in my estimations quite a lot to be in like one of the top songs on the album. Speaks for itself. And yeah, I just really like the differences between like the verses, the chorus, the kind of the middle eight area. I like the backing vocals and stuff like that. Colin's not liking my backing vocals because he's fucked off somewhere. Clearly not happy about my points.
It's a cat.
He's got a cat.
She was crying, so.
Oh, the
Stop
pussy.
crying.
What's new, pussycat?
Whoa.
Just booted my mic. She's gone back out.
Lovely. So,
She got pooed.
She pooped. She pooped on my mic. Was that Trixie?
Yeah. Little angel.
Named after
who's
the
shit.
famous hotel, Trixie Motel. Palm
Have
Springs.
we done with the drop?
We are.
Okay. Moving on
Yep.
to possibly the best song on the album. It is Cool It Kid.
Second place.
This is just interesting because of the vocals from what's her name, Liam?
Asher.
Asher Lorenz.
Well, Liam, you sound different. And yeah, it's not as in your face as a lot of these songs try to be. I don't know if it's because of the bass thing that you mentioned, but even though a lot of these songs are very high energy and fast and sort of a bit more punky, because of the mixing of it and the heavy bass, I feel like it sort of deters from that a bit, maybe. But anyway, call it here, different energy, different vibes. I like it.
Mirrors.
Whoa.
Oh, whoa. I think that this is. Let me just quickly check something. I think this song is solid. I still think it's a great song. It's a great single. I think this could have been. Now, don't think about what the actual closure is because I can't even remember about. I haven't got it up anymore. Oh no, yeah. Don't think about what the current closure is. I think this could have been a good close to the album. Is one point. It's got quite a lot of Stanton energy to me. So whereas this isn't very energetic, got a great build up and has got a very solid kind of second half that like live would be a great it's just like Stanton really is my point. He's got a similar kind of energy to that, which is why
We'd probably like
despite
it the most.
my issues with the lack of energy on the album, this one gets a free pass and it's just
Free pass, everyone. Moving on. Unstuck. I hate the way he says apart in this near the start of the song.
How does he say it?
I don't know. Just listen to the
doing his
song
accent
anyway.
as well.
I don't know.
Did a great
do you
Kent
want me to-
accent before you.
Yeah, my Kent accent. Yeah. He doesn't even say it in his accent though. He says it differently. Despite that, I thought this is one of the better choruses on the album. However, the vocals sound a little bit wobbly. Whoa! That's my demonstration of a wobbly vocal.
I actually liked his vocals in this one. I put it down as a note, so I must have liked it. And I also like the riff, but I don't know what riff, verse riff, chorus riff. I was listening to this one on the train, so I wasn't really in the right mindset to make notes when I did, and then I didn't make notes other times.
Of the non-singles, because we've just made it to that point now. We're just on the non-singles. This one probably stood out to me as probably one of the better ones for sure. I think the chorus is pretty good, a pretty solid chorus, but I think the rest of the song again lacks just a bit of energy. There's something missing, and it could just be the bass muddiness or something. It's just not quite mixed right, but it doesn't make me want to get up and dance, you know.
Our Entertainment. This is a single that we listened to.
We're back to singles.
Yeah, this is the last one though, isn't it?
Never too far from a single.
The 6 Degrees of Sports Team single.
Yeah.
This one, same thoughts as when we reviewed it. To be honest with you, I've not really changed too much. Okay, it passes as a song, but like I'm not excited anytime this comes on. In fact, I skip it.
Yeah, same. Underwhelmed, always. Don't dislike it, but yeah, underwhelmed, which is a theme I believe we all share.
Our Entertainment actively don't enjoy it.
Doesn't entertain you.
No,
does not entertain me. I feel like the verses, choruses, and mid-late bits all do not match. There's a lot of the keys part that comes in. I didn't mean mid-late. I meant like pre-chorus. But like, there's just parts of the song that are not cohesive, and I don't like it. Don't like it.
He doesn't like it. Moving on. Kool-Aid is the name of the next track. I was just thought I don't care at this point. That could be because of the amount of singles I've just had to re-listen to, having listened to them before the album. So I'd lost any form of enjoyment or excitement that I would normally anticipate from an album because I'd heard most of it already. So yeah, sorry, don't like Kool-Aid.
I like the opening riff. I thought the atmospheric background guitar added a fair bit. I wasn't really mad on the track. It's decent, but didn't blow me away. That's what I put. Just regurgitating notes here, aren't I? Really, through no fault of my own, might I say?
Yeah, blame sports team. I think there's quite a lot of pretty good guitar work on this song throughout. And I kind of like I guess a pre-chorus, like a verse. I don't really know how you class it. But yeah, in general, I'm just kind of bleh at this point, which is crazy because it's the 7th song, and we've just done a 13 song my Hawke album, and I didn't feel I listened to this first, so yeah.
Yeah.
not good.
It's at this point where I would like to give a warning, because I am going to brutally slate this next song. So if you are a massive fan of this album, in particular this track, please avoid listening.
Of your in sports team.
In particular, sports team, don't listen to this because, you know, I don't know things. This song, Getting Better, sounds shocking. It's like a band's first attempt at a song musically, and then moving on to the vocals, unfortunately, which we have to. They sound shite. Not the actual performance. I will say that, but the recording of it, as I've mentioned on my voice note to us in the chat, boys, sounds like it was recorded through a can of beans.
Great, that was great, by the way.
That
that.
really came off the dome. That I was not
Really
anticipating
good.
saying that.
Save that one.
But it brought it out of me. Yeah, I cannot believe this has been on left on the album. It sounds unfinished. Yeah, I'm done
Yeah.
with the rant. You can listen again.
This to me just sounded like the boys are back in town.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Boring.
Yeah, it's I think the song itself and kind of like the main melody and stuff is nice. It's pleasant. It's all right as like the 7th song on an album. I guess what is the 8th. But it is very simple. It feels very simple anyway. I think again that's maybe just because it just seems to be missing some sort of element, some sort of energy or spark or something's missing. I do agree about the vocals. I like the keys in like the kind of bridge part. I like the sound of those keys. Something very kind of I want to click along to them. Yeah, good time. But overall,
Yeah.
yeah.
Next up, fingers in brackets taken off. Another not very entertaining song. The only part that, if I had to say something nice, would be the whatever it is that's like the riff follows the vocals. Like da, 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 da. But apart from that, I really just couldn't be asked at this point.
I thought this was the best one on the second half of the record. Would like to stress that is not saying all that much, I'm afraid. And neither am I. So Liam, please.
Yeah, I suppose this is the best of the second half so far. I agree with that. And yeah, I really don't have much more to say. It feels very rinse and repeat, this song. Same as the last couple from this side. It just doesn't feel new. It feels, I know you made this point, Yanni, I'm going to steal it from you. Regressive, in a way. I think it was you who said it, Yanni.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It just doesn't feel like there's any forward momentum from the last album. Doesn't feel like there's any momentum within the songs, within the album. No momentum. And yeah, like listening to Deeply Unhappy just before this, there's a joy and an energy and a youthfulness in that album that is just not here. And it feels like they've still got it, but it's just not on show. I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe exactly what's missing. In terms of something you can kind of tangibly measure. But yeah, this ain't it, Chief. Big gulp.
Last song on the album, Light Industry. I thought this one was interesting, but that's because it was somewhat different. Definitely the best track off the album to be a closer, in my opinion. Although you did make a good point about Cool Kid, but I feel like this is the better one out of the two I've had to pick. Yeah. I'm just glad it's over, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought the song itself deserves to be the closer. However, I thought it was weird to have Rob's only main vocal performance be a closer. I liked on the last record how he had, what did he have? Lander and Long Hot Summer. Was it only them two?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like
he
he.
was main vocalist. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: he did main vocals in the ending, kind of.
Yeah, they
But I would have liked more Rob, is what I'm getting at, because from Deep Down Happy, I mean, Lander and Long Hot Summer are two of my favourites. Nothing against Alex; I like Alex as a frontman. But yeah, this song got better as it got into it. I thought it was pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, I think this is again, it's interesting. Just something different. I like some of the kind of like the synthy sounds through the first slower part, and then there's like a guitar tone that comes in, quite dirty sounding, which is really nice. Just before the kind of kicks in, and I really like that. That feels kind of it feels nostalgic in a way. It reminds me a bit of a certain romance, the kind of later half of that song. It's got a similar kind of like nice kind of makes you feel, reminds you of old times sort of vibe, which is nice. And yeah, I do think this is a solo closer. I think in a world this didn't exist, The Dig would have worked. Colour Kids would have worked. The Dig. That's not even a song. I'm fucking lost down with this album. But there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
So overall, not the best effort from Sports Team. We can't quite place our fingers on it, apart from the word I've used and Liam's brought up, regressive. It sort of feels like, but we don't know why. Upon you mentioning that, I wonder if, I know this might be a very weird thing to say, but maybe not even in the slightest, but the album artwork has anything to do with that. Because I'm looking at the album artwork when I'm listening to these tracks, and I just feel like no effort.
I would say that the rest of the package, I don't know if you've opened your record yet. You've got
I haven't know.
but like, the die cut sleeve with the different colour in the sleeve, the fold out poster and stuff is quite well done. It kind of all matches the vibe a little bit. So I can see where they've gone in terms of a packaging kind of aesthetic. I don't know if it matches the album. I don't think it does. And yeah, maybe right. Maybe that is
subconsciously in there somewhere. I mean, like I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway,
I mean, look, it seems like they've really kind of, with their shows, they're still going for it. They got that van and painted it, which looks pretty cool. They're still up for it. Although I have seen they did post a few times saying, "Sorry, we haven't posted about the in-store shows. Here we are now, kind of advertising it." And yeah, maybe they've just kind of been. But you've also got to think this album was probably really recorded like 2 years ago, so
yeah,
it's almost impossible to tell when this could have happened.
True that. Racing times, Callum.
Six.
In the great wise words of one Natalie Imbruglia, torn. So, and that's in reference to the score I'm going to give it, and I think I'm going to give it a 6 too.
Yeah, I'll go with a 6 as well. That's what I put here. I was wondering if I was going to change it, but no, I'll go with a 6.
I almost felt like I was going to rate it lower than for a second, but my original score was 6. So
that's what I. I was between a 5 and a 6.
Should we give it a 1 for a laugh? Yeah, 6 all round. The number of the beast. That's been Sports Team's album Gulp. If you enjoyed it, let us know. And moving on. Oh, boys.
2-2 pretty fight.
Oh, boys. To Courting.
Yes.
With one of the worst album titles of all time. Guitar Music.
Yanni.
It is undoubtedly one of the worst album titles. However,
you need to go post. What's the word? Ironic. Cool. We're
it's very meta.
Stratospheres here. This is so meta.
Yeah,
we're guitar in it.
Well, Guitar Music is the name of the album. Courting is the name of the group. 8 tracks to cover. I hope you enjoy this, and if you are a member of Courting, thank you in advance for making this album. What is that? A little tease, maybe?
I'm sorry. Callum, I don't know about you, but I'm very nervous about what you're
I am very nervous.
I don't trust him. I don't understand. I don't.
Very, very coy. Very coy.
I want to know, Yanni, first of all, how many times have you listened to it?
I'm not going to give that away.
Okay.
How many times have you
Uh,
listened to it, Liam?
Several.
I think I
I love
did
that
my
number,
sixth
several.
this afternoon.
Yeah, I think 6 or 7 times. Yeah.
Cosplay / Twin Cities is the name of the opener, or openers, if you want to think about it that way, maybe. Beautiful little opener. From the what I presume is the cosplay side.
Are you reading
Um,
your My Hope Dancer? Mate?
Oh yeah, sorry, beautiful song. Great
Beautiful
female
vocals.
voice. Yeah. No. And then immediately I'm attacked. After the beautiful little opener. And I've just put, now the artwork makes sense. I was going to comment on it. Originally, I was thought I'm going to just bring this up in the album review about how I hate the artwork, but with the full picture, I don't now hate it. I hate the title, but the artwork, it makes sense.
I don't know how you've not also flipped on the title if you haven't flipped on the artwork. It's the same thing.
No,
God damn it.
I just hate the. No, it's not. I hate the title. The second half, Twin Cities, feels a lot like a Radiohead meets. Well, I put Hyperpop for Charlie XCX because that's been given. That's a reference they've named themselves. So I suppose I'll name that as well. So yeah. Definitely the right way to open this album, without a doubt.
Well and truly, straight out the blocks, as they say. A bit Death Gripsy, a bit Radioheady, as you say. Just balls to the wall. I'm in.
Yeah, I think in a similar fashion to the opener on the Alex G album, it gives you a taste of what's to come from every angle. And yeah, I think it's just so clever how beautiful that opener is. There's something about that sound that's just really, really nice. And then to be attacked violently by that squeaky door situation or whatever's going on, so many noises. But then for that whole like second half, there's that kind of obviously very kind of incoherent vocals, so I couldn't really make out what I was saying. Which is kind of just everywhere in your ears when you listen to it. And then there's to still be some melody and rhythm to all the just sound. Very well done. And that's when I got to that point, I thought, okay, when the singles that come before, I was like, okay, we've got something here.
Moving on to tennis. Sorry, boys, I don't know if I'm still mad on this one. I don't hate it and I don't dislike it, but I don't know if I absolutely love it like I can imagine you two sort of feeling.
I think it's my least favorite of the 3 singles. But that's not to say that I don't like it, because I do. It's an absolute banger. On the single version, does it come back in with a chorus at the end that it doesn't do on the album? Because I feel like that duped me a little bit when I was listening to the record.
I didn't notice
But
the
anyway.
difference.
Well, maybe I'm just eager for another chorus.
Are you still going?
It did sound like you were ending it there, Carl.
It was, yeah, but I
Yeah.
just couldn't get that final word out, and I was just lingering on it.
I think this is a really good second song following that opener. The opener kind of really kicks you in the balls, get you going, but it kind of brings it back. It reins it back a little bit with tenor. I also listened to all of Court and stuff before this album today as well, just as a little refresher on
God, do you do anything?
I can work and listen to music, Yanni. God damn it. Grand National. And I think this is the kind of closest to the to the older stuff from them. This was a very good bridge single. Obviously, I think it was the first single that they put out. It's a very good bridge between that era of Courting and obviously a very different new era of Courting. I didn't love this much. No, I take it back. I enjoyed this as a single, but I enjoy it a lot more now, definitely. I think in the context of the album, where it's placed. And I just think the chorus is a banger, which that's only grown on listening to this album a few times.
Banger alert.
Banger slapper.
One of those comments you made, I will also be making later on. When? Where? You'll know. Moving on, we've got Loaded. This one has grown on me since we first covered it. Yeah, I like this one.
This was my favourite single of the 3. Arguably my favorite Courting song before the release of this album. Maybe.
You had me there.
Fair.
You had me
No,
for a
yeah,
second.
honestly, Yanni, just you wait. Crass was on Grand National. That was tied.
Yeah.
The chorus on this one, like Liam said with Tennis, the chorus on this one is incredible. I love the auto-tune before the chorus in the I'm Not Your Baby bit. I think it works perfectly. It's just such a good track. So good.
Yeah, I mean, 100% everything you've said there. The one bit that gets me every time I listen to it the most is the very first bit when he sings "I Just Can't Stomach It,"
Yeah. Is
and
it
it's
the later?
got those. What did you say?
The bit where how he says later turns me on a bit. Don't know why. It's a bit weird.
Well, the
but it
bit I'm
does.
talking about is where it's almost like the two like glitching kind of sets of vocals, and it's like the way it kind of flickers between them.
Is she?
Listen back to it, you know what I mean. But it's wunderbar, and yeah, the whole song is just great. The energy is immaculate, unbeaten. This is what you need, and again, it just feels so. You say it about the rest of the album. It's so fresh. It feels so different. I can't think of another band that sounds like this.
No.
And that's quite exciting in its own right, I think. You asked earlier, Callum, and
I
I
did.
assume what that was for, but about what we'd compare this to. And I think the comparisons are fair, which maybe we'll touch on at the end, but they're only hints.
Yeah.
It definitely feels like they've really taken some well-loved ingredients and made their own curry from it.
Moving on. Famous.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
man.
Oh
Yeah, man. There's something about when those guitars come in that just I get instant nostalgia for like early 2010s rock, but it doesn't feel like dated, out of place.
No, yeah.
I mean, this album has so many different twists and turns, but nothing seems out of place, even though it blatantly is out of place. It never feels like it. It just, this is one of the first songs that I heard on the album, and I thought, I'm very glad we're going to go see these in a couple of days. Very, very, very glad.
Talking of that,
Yeah, man.
I'll talk about it when we get to that song. Never mind. This is my favourite song on the record. I think there's another one which Liam you'll know because you saw my tweet. Yanni, I don't know if you did.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, well it's between that.
He watches.
I observe from afar.
Just the melody is incredible. I love the "Thank You for Being My Forever" part. I love the abrupt ending. It builds up to just such a frenzy, and it's just it's almost like unbearable to you know what I mean?
Calm down.
No, it is. It feels like it's so far on the edge to being fucking hideous to listen to.
Yeah.
That it's incredible. It's so far to going over, but it doesn't.
I feel like we were talking about this Sports Team last album we just covered. The energy that they're trying to get is what this song achieves. And you're spot on with like the energy side of it, because like I listened to it again because this is the one I've been listening to on repeat because it's the shorter one of the ones that I very much enjoy. Spoilers. But every time it gets to the end, I just feel like I don't know how they've managed to make it that energetic without it just all going to shit.
That's what I was trying to get at.
I think it's because this song, at its core, structure-wise, melody-wise, is guitar music. Good old-fashioned 2010s, in-betweeners soundtrack guitar music. But there's fuck all guitars on it. Obviously there are, but there's so much other stuff on it that keeps it fresh and keeps it new, that this is the song that embodies the idea of the title for me, this song. I think this is unbelievable. This is absolutely my favourite song on the album. I can't believe how excited I feel right now just talking about it. This is this is how we do this podcast. But for a song I've listened to so many times over the last few days,
It's the
It's,
shared enjoyment, I think, that's adding to the excitement. We're all
definitely.
finally admitting to one another how much
Yeah,
we love
we've
this
kind of
track.
kept it a little bit hidden.
Yeah.
But yeah, just listening to it back now, it's just it's an incredible song.
I'm
For
gonna
a
use
first
it.
album,
I'm gonna use the word, mate. Just sorry.
go on,
Slapper.
it's a slapper.
Slapper.
For a first album, and for less than a handful of tracks that have been released before this, incredible. I genuinely was shocked that caught in, and this is not meant detrimentally at all, in the most positive way, that they managed to achieve this song. We saw them just under 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Supporting sports team. They played football at least 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had 3 or 4 songs, if that. And this is genuinely it feels like I feel almost proud of them, in a weird way. Not that I don't know them, but knowing that we saw them at that point and now they've reached this is kind of a beautiful thing,
Yeah, man. Moving on to Crass Redux. That riff always reminds me of Slaves. It's never not going to remind me of Slaves. Enjoy the lyrics on this. Definitely an improvement on the original. Makes it fit so much better on this album. I listened to the original just for sake of argument, and if that version had just been copied onto here, it would have been so weird and so out of place. The things they did on this to make it fit, they were needed, and it was very well done.
See, I completely agree with what you've just said. It needed to be redone, but as a standalone recording, I prefer the Grand National version. I feel like this feels slowed down a little bit. Feels like it's just, I don't know if it is, but it just feels like it's, I don't know what the word is, meandering a little bit. I still love this track. I said before, before this record was released, it was definitely joint favourite with Loaded. Might have been my favourite. I like the glitchy sounds to make it fit. It does work better, but I feel like it just misses that rawness of the Grand National version, which is a shame. But it's still the same song, and I still fucking love it. So
yeah, no, I think I prefer this version as well. I just think it's kind of dirtier in a way. But I understand what you mean about how the original sounds a lot more kind of whatever word you used. I can't remember what it was.
fucking raw.
Raw. Was it raw? I was going to say raw, but I can't remember. That's what he said. And yeah, I get that. But
The fuck?
whatever they've done, it definitely works within this album very well. I'd be interested to know kind of when that and the rest of the album are recorded time-wise, if they were similar times. But yeah, and I think the electronic sounds towards the end rather than the original outro, very good. Works very well. And it's just an absolute, I'm going to use it, slapper.
Moving on to Jumper, another single. Again, my appreciation for this track has grown significantly. I put, yeah, man, good shit. And I think at the time I thought this one seemed out of place, or we commented that it seemed too different. But on the album, it does not.
Well, boys, I'm moving on up in the world, and I have recently interviewed Sports Team for my job.
Sports team.
Sports Team.
Courting,
Shit.
you mean?
I've recently interviewed Courting
Wait.
for my job. Professional.
You'll get fired.
And whoever completed the interview, I assume it was Sean, said that they wanted to have like a respite at this point in the album, but didn't want to do it with a simple, slow ballad. And I completely agree that it works perfectly. It is a good old-fashioned pop love song.
I had a little laugh there because I was going to use that exact quote without giving it kudos, without realising it was from your interview, Callum. Which prove I've read it at least. But yeah, I think it works very well in this spot. I think it's just an alright banger. I think the last chorus, the way that's sung is really good. And yeah, as you said, Jan, it's just good shit. It's good shit.
Yeah, man. Speaking of good shit, actually no. Speaking of great shit, we've got Uncanny Valley Forever.
You're breaking me,
This
Yanni.
I've used this word on a different album, but this is beautiful. It's quite Buckner at times. Well, a lot of the time. And the ending was fantastic too. Guitar parts in this are just absolutely fantastic. Well thought out, if they were thought of at all. And yeah, just second favorite.
Second favorite. This is not on the set list for the gigs they've done so far in the tour.
Oh, damn it.
So if you're listening to this, we're gonna have to put this out before. I mean, I know the main episode, but this individual one we'll have to put out before Friday, Yanni. So there's a job for
We'll
you.
put this one out first.
Fantastic.
We'll put it on
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Please play
Wednesday,
it.
Thursday.
It's a hometown show. Please play it, and please have the red variant of the vinyl available to purchase. Otherwise, I'm gonna be
They will
upset.
have some. I've already asked Sean.
The red ones.
A limited. He said they should have 50 copies.
Oh,
that's
fucking
fucking
hell.
That's sound.
We should be right.
But yeah,
We've got you.
completely agree with Yanni. The Black Country New Road vibes are apparent. The delivery of "Why Does My Mouth Taste Metallic" gives me a funny bum. And Yanni,
Yeah.
again, I say this very often. This is such a you riff. I really think it is. Not as like a main riff, as a background riff. It just reminds me of you.
Thank you.
But this song itself, holy fuck, I was not expecting
Yeah.
a track like this to come from Courtin. And again, I don't mean that in a
I
derogatory sense.
Yeah, I
But,
forgot
wow.
that there was an 8-minute, well, almost 9-minute long song on this album. Because again, sorry to spoil things, I had this on in the background, and this song came on, and I thought, this is going on for a lot longer than the other ones. Not in a bad way, but I had to remind myself that this was quite the length of a tune. But every second of it is worth it.
Yeah, doesn't feel like 9 minutes at all. Or 8.5 whatever it is.
Hi guys, I'm here too.
Oh, Liam, yeah.
I also love the song. I think the comparisons to BC and our Friends Forever are fair. Both in the riff is fairly similar to Sunglasses, and just in general style of the overall song, but it feels cheap at the same time because it also feels like it's a cousin. It's a cousin of BCNR. It's of a similar time in the world, but to lump them together in such a way does feel cheap. And yeah, I think this song is incredible. The end part, which I think is known separately as Angels, I think. I don't love. To be honest, I'd say that's probably the weakest part of the whole album for me. Which, considering it's not very long at all, doesn't really say much. Like, it's fine, but I kind of actually wish there was more from it. Like, it gave a bit more. Just kind of feels a little bit throwaway. But yeah, Uncanny Valley Forever. Everything, like, the lyrics and stuff are just incredible. Incredible, beautiful, incredible. Yeah. Next song.
Nice. We end this album with the song PDA, which of course stands for what, Callum?
Perfect Dicks Available.
That's right. Subscribe to Falls on the Hill YouTube channel.
I was
you've not
thinking
already.
personal dick assistant.
Yeah.
All about the
dick.
dicks. We are all about the
absolutely.
dicks.
Strangely festive, I thought this track
Yeah.
was. Don't know why I've spoken. Don't know why I've said that like Yoda. But yeah, I thought this was strangely festive, and I thought it was a nice closer, nice way to round off the album.
Yep. Kind of lost its way after Uncanny Valley for me. But it was still very good. I've listened to it a lot in isolation, and I think it's a great track. But in terms of the track list, I think Uncanny Valley is such like a whirlwind that it ruins this track ever so slightly. But I still really like it.
Yeah, I think this is probably the weakest song on the album for me, but that doesn't really put it very low in the grand scheme of things.
Put it this way, it'd be the best one on Gulp.
Yeah. Oh, so rude. It's what was I just saying then? Yeah, I like the bass on it, and I like the kind of just the rhythm, that kind of like festive. Feels like a carnival ride, like a merry-go-round. I like that, and I think it's pretty solid close to the album. And it just kind of well encompasses what the last however long has been. You know, it finishes 30 odd minutes. Very well. Just like I did this interview, this review. See, fucking smashed it. What a great way to round it off.
Yeah.
Just like PDA.
Brilliant. Callum, please tell me your rating.
Well, it's going to be a high one. Put it that way. I've got one overall gripe with the record, and it's only really a semi-gripe. And it's on like the first 3-4 tracks, maybe. There's like a static glitching transition sound. It's definitely the end of Tennis, and I think it might be at the end of Loading. It's purposely there, but it just winds me up. It's like it reminds me of YouTubers when someone tries to say a funny joke, it doesn't land, and then someone feels the need to add that sound to go to the next scene. But I feel like I can get over that. But other than that, this is genuinely one of, if not my favorite debut albums for years. And I mean years. I can't give it full marks. I have toyed with the idea, but I am going to give it a 9.
Liam.
When I tell you that I am toying, I just don't know what to do with myself. I kind of feel like, I've mentioned that there are points that I love overall.
Yeah.
But I think, as a full album, it's very well crafted. It's ordered perfectly. It's the perfect length. They didn't overstay their welcome at all.
Been saying this for years, mate. 30 minutes.
Spot on.
Caught in. When album 2, 3, 4 come along, stick to your roots. You said you don't want an album full of dross. You've got a perfect album here. Well, not perfect 'cause it's a 9.
Well,
Unless it's Luther Van, in which case, pop it on.
But in terms of like a cohesive sound, while also exploring the full kind of realm of those sounds, I think they've done a very well job. Very well job. Yeah, I said it right. So fuck it, I'm gonna give it a 10.
Oh, I really want to also give it a 10. I'm not gonna lie to you.
When I think back, and we gave Gang of Youths a 10, which I'm not disputing. I think this is up there of Gang of Youths.
Do you know what? I'm going to use my one re-thing per year, and I'm going to give it a 10 because I gave everything a 10, and I think this is ever so slightly above.
What?
Did you really?
Yeah, I regret giving everything a 10. I do regret that. I would have given it a 9 in hindsight, but I was very excited. But yeah, I'm genuinely changing my answer. This is not through peer pressure. I'm giving it a 10.
Well, I just want to say I want to ask a postal question. Did you expect my review of this to be as
no
positive?
What?
No,
positive it was. No,
okay, no, not at all.
I like to keep you on your toes. So
did a good job of that, man. Yeah.
However, that being said, because there was a couple of songs that weren't as good as others, I'm gonna have to give it a 9 out of 10.
You have to be different, don't you?
It's not perfection.
You have to be different. It doesn't mean it's perfection.
It does. So yeah, 9 out of 10.
Thank you, Courting.
I saw them tweet before saying that they've got a chance of charting with this, and I think that's really sad. Like, obviously, it's great.
Yeah.
But fucking hell, buy the
A
album.
a
I've not
certain
even
other
I've not
band-
even bought the album yet.
A certain other band are one of 4 to possibly number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
If
they're looking
there's
at
any justice
possibly
in
getting
the
top
world.
40. But yeah, you're right. I haven't got the album either. But like
No.
I'm 100% going to now. I've heard
Yeah.
it. And
To be honest, I just
think
don't really want to pay
that's not their
£5
fault.
postage. It's an expensive record as it is. £5 postage. Come on.
I think
given it a
that's
10.
I'd like I feel like I want to apologise for the lack of faith in this album. I didn't have a lack of faith. I don't know. It just kind of wasn't.
I did.
I didn't.
I really
It
did.
just
You
I
proved me
almost
wrong.
let it pass me by. I think was the thing. Like I really enjoyed the singles, so I don't know what it was. For some reason, I prioritised buying 6 copies. No, I didn't buy them at all. Of another album, but like
5.
it's that same old cycle, eh? But it feels like it should have been one. And
You know what I
I
want
hope
to
they
do
do.
now? No.
Sure.
Actually, sorry.
put the
Thanks
Cotton
for
album on.
listening to that Cotton album review, and
Thank you.
thank you for listening to all the reviews if you stuck through the whole lot. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to delete Sports Team's album Gulp from my Apple Music because I never want to hear that again.
Oh, stinger.
And that's not even a lie. I've just done it. You can hear the clicks on my mouse. That is me deleting it. So if you've enjoyed our reviews, then go to each individual one and like those videos separately. Comment also what you would rate it individually on those. And then leave a like on this video, the overall one, if you're on YouTube watching it. And comment separately each album what you'd rate that as well. And if there were things that you disagreed with, tell us and why. Give us some, constructive criticism. That's what we need. Don't just say you're wrong. It doesn't help anyway. We don't listen to you.
That fool on the left who only listened to the album once.
Yeah.
Or idiot on the left, sorry. Whatever it was.
Yeah.
Balls.
Idiot on the left it was, yeah. You couldn't even get you should have used fool. What an idiot. Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll see you in multiple videos and next week for the regular pod. You'll find us Instagram, Facebook at Falls in the Hill Podcast, Twitter at Falls in the Hill Pod. And of course, if you're not already there, go to YouTube, type in Falls in the Hill Podcast, subscribe and ding a bell to be notified when we upload shit. There's a lot of shit being uploaded, boys. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Courting.
And on that note,
And my Hawke for being my Hawke.
thank you all for listening, and thank you for being my forever and ever and ever
Oh, beautiful.
and ever and ever.
Oh, so cute.
Beautiful. Lovely.
Bye.
See you on Friday, Courting.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Get your balls ready.
See you on Friday, Taco Bell.
Oh.
Cheeky. Oh, French Taco Bell.